Hello there, this is Nano's Geek, and today we'll do an NaNoWriMo video because it's November, and everybody who tries to do AuthorTubing has to do a NaNoWriMo video on November. So let's talk about my Nano. We are the day 10 just finished for me. Probably by the time this video will be uploaded, it will be day 11 for you. And I'm on target, barely. And this is because I had some very lousy word counts for most of the days before, and then I went all in on the 6th of November and I did an amazing amount of writing. I did 5,500 words in a day, and my total word count is at 17,500 words and something at the moment. So yes, I'm okay. I'm above target and I think I can make it. But I won't talk about how I spent those 10 days in NaNoWriMo. I'm not into the nano vlogging type of stuff of this material. And I'm sorry for the short video or the lack of content, but I had a very sore throat for the past 6 or 7 days. I mean, I'm having my gothic cup of tea, and believe me, I have to be very, very sick if I'm drinking tea. I'm a coffee person. Never mind that. So, my Nano project is called Kill Team Omega. It is a sci-fi action cyberpunk novel. It is set in the 23rd century in a city called Megapolis that is sort of like a mega city from Just Dredd, because let's be fair, it's very inspired by Just Dredd. And I'll talk about the synopsis of the setting and the inspirations for my novel on this video. So our main character is Joshi. He is a police assassin. Yes, believe it or not, in the 23rd century of my imagination, the police has assassins. It's very well-trained operatives who go and take out some very dangerous criminals. And so did Joshi, only on an operation like that, he did something that he shouldn't have done, and he was punished. He took the fall, actually, because it was either him or his superior, so he chose to shoulder the blame, and he was demoted to a kill team. Kill teams are the trash police officers. Everybody who is guilty of misconducts is sent to a kill team, or they take people out of the street and make them act as police officers in kill teams, and then if they're any good, they will take them into some real police units. And the kill teams are the guys who police the ghettos. And since it's the 23rd century and it's dystopic and cyberpunk, the ghettos are not nice places to be. So the police doesn't go to the ghettos to enforce justice and peace. They go there to shoot people. Hence the kill team name. It's unofficial, of course, but everybody's calling it a kill team. And his kill team is Kill Team Omega, who are, as the letter implies, Omega is the final letter of the Greek alphabet, and they're a last response unit. Basically, they are the guys who go after other kill teams have killed everybody, and they clean things up, and they keep everything in order. And they're the worst option for going into hostile territory, I guess. But it happens to them. In the beginning of the novel, they're sent into a neighborhood with very little intel about what's happening there. And they're told, this used to be an old factory there, and people working on the factory, and then the factory closed. And when this happens, when you have people suddenly going unemployed, you have crime exploding and gangs fighting. And yes, there are two rival gangs in this area, and they're fighting with each other. And you have to go there and kill both gangs. And you think, oh, that's great. Those heroic police officers are going into a neighborhood that suffers to stop crime and save the people. No, they're not. Truth is, there was this megacorp, and corps are multinational that rule everything, because in this story, the setting, the concept behind the story is that we have neoliberalism gone rogue. So there's this corporation who has a factory some, I don't know, 10 or 20 neighborhoods away, and they want to transfer their goods from the factory to their logistics center, and that's the other side of the sector, and they want to go through, take the trucks and go through this area, but the warfare between the gangs does not allow them to do that. It's getting very expensive, and instead of hiring their goons and going there and shoot people, they send the police, because why spend money when you can get it for free? How the hell did I came up with this concept, you'll say? Well, it happened that I watched a movie called Dread. In case you don't know what Dread is it's the gritty remake slash reboot slash adaptation of the British Just Dread comics. It came out in 2014, I think. I have heard so many good things about this movie, so I watched it, and I was disappointed. I know I'm getting downvotes for that, I know that, believe me. And because it was a good movie, but the action was a bit stale. It was very static. Dread was very Terminator-like. He had no face, and yes, he didn't take the mask off, which is great for just Dread. But it lacked something, in my opinion. And then I've heard that there is this Indonesian movie called The Raid, which had a very similar script, and I watched that and I was blown away. And I asked myself, why didn't Dread have action like that? Because The Raid is a very intense movie. The main character is fighting tooth and nail to save his life and the life of his comrades, and I was like, why? I want to see Dread with action like The Raid. And when you want to read, see what's experience, be entertained by something that there's not out there, it's a sure sign that you should write it. And so I said, yes, I'm going to write Dread meets The Raid, sci-fi version of The Raid, and not quite the same story, just get what made the movie great. I was thinking of John Wick meets Judge Dredd type of novel, but as I started writing, I was thinking that I should do some very flashy action scenes and hand-to-hand combat and gun katas and stuff. But as I went on and started writing, this stuff couldn't quite work, so I went for a bit more realistic action. I mean, the main character is still a killing machine. He's taking down a lot of guys easily, but I was writing more about covering fire, hopping from cover to cover, ambushing people and stuff, instead of doing some insane gun full actions. I had this video about fight scenes some time ago. I'll leave the link below. And I was saying that yes, overly choreographed combat looks amazing on the screen, but it bogs down the text. And I went for faster, linear combat in this one, and there's all the faction. I mean, the novel starts with our main character being, his squad is sent scouting into the factory, the ruins of the factory, where one of the gangs is supposed to be in, and they're getting ambushed. So the book literally starts with them getting shot at, they're in cover, they're pinned, some people are about to be injured by incoming fire, and 2 people out of a 10 people squad are dead already, or heavily injured. Yes, if you ever read this book, don't get too attached to the characters, because nasty stuff will happen to everybody. Believe me. And I'm sorry for that. Really, I'm sorry. So they're pinned, and their sergeant, who is in charge of the squad, is a total idiot, and he's taking a roll call. And not only that, but when he calls status report for someone who has died, he doesn't get the hint that he's dead and he should move over and do something about the living people in the squad who are about to die. No, he said, "Come on, respond, like a Dalek." So our character understands that this guy is an imbecile. He's totally incompetent, and he has to take stuff into his hands. And so he takes charge. He shoots a lot of people shoot at him. He also punches, chokes, and does other stuff to people. Because Judge Dredd meets John Wick meets the Raid. There is this theme of nepotism, of corruption, of incompetence in the police of the 23rd century, and that's because another inspiration for this novel was Harry Harrison. In case you don't know Harry Harrison, he was a 70s British author, and he had some amazing books. I mean, Death World was amazing. He was also an inspiration for the Warhammer 40k setting, and a couple of years before I watched Dread, I used to read the Guns Ghosts series by Dan Abnett, and I said to myself, maybe I should write some action-packed military sci-fi, and watching Dread and the Raid was what clicked, and I say, oh yes, don't have some superhuman scouts in enemy planets, have police officers in a dystopic city of the future. Yes, it's a bit of Necromunda, I guess. But never mind that. Let's not be too geeky for normies. It's gaming stuff. And I also wanted to have a more absurd dystopia, such as the one presented in my absolute favorite cyberpunk novel, Snowgrass, by Neil Stephenson, because there's some very humorous stuff out there. There's some amazing satire, like the Mafia being a pizza delivering franchise, and that was the spirit of what I want to do. I want to do an absurd, satiric dystopia. Yes, it's action-packed, but there's also this layer of satire underneath for people who want to read something extra. An extra layer, and yes, Snow Crash was amazing for that. I will do this layer. I hope there is in the first draft, or maybe I should add it in later drafts, I don't know. And also, the Judge Dredd comics I've read are kind of like that. They are a satire of stuff. They're very funny, especially the 70s stories, and probably I should take my Dread comic books and do some videos about that when I have the time, because I really loved these comic books. And you know what's the sad part? That for years and years I had the only Dread I knew was the Stallone Dread, the movie from the 90s, which is panned and everybody hates. And I thought that Dread would be like Dread the movie. And then I watched the movie. I bought and read some of the Judge Dredd comic books because I am a fake geek and I haven't done that for the first 30-something years of my life. I'm joking. And I was blown away because it was satire. It was a humorous comics. It reminded me of the Asterix comics I used to read as a kid, and yes, I want to be not lighthearted exactly. There will be drama and action, but I want people to say, "Oh, that's an element of our world taken to its extreme." And I want there to be some satire in there. If this is the future, and Kill Team Omega is a book, it's available to you, and you watch this video for the first time. Leave a comment if I succeeded in any of that. Maybe some of the stuff I've mentioned have changed, but at the moment I think that the manuscript of the book, It's a manuscript, it's a first draft. This first draft is coming out quite well. Yes, I have to go back and fix things, but that's how writing is. I think that I'm discovering the tone and the characters because I went in without a plan. I had a general outline of the plot, and I'm coming up with details as I go along, and I have come up with some great stuff. I came out with one character I particularly like, and a scene that was supposed to be a bit of, that something happens, and then this character I came up with jumps out of the page, and she takes things on her, and she goes out, and she really saved this scene for me. And I thank her, I love her. I know, this character maybe I'll spare her. I'm not sure about that though. Yes, that was my Nano project, Guilty Omega, a sci-fi action cyberpunk novel about disgraced police of the 23rd century fighting against desert gangs in a neoliberalism gone wrong setting. You can my friend on the NaNoWriMo site. I'll leave a link below. Many thanks to the nice people who are in this Facebook group, the Story Detective. As organized, I help. There will be another NaNoWriMo update. Maybe the next one will be about the soundtrack of this novel, because yes, there's a soundtrack of Guilty Omega. And until then, have fun and keep being creative. Thank you for watching.